Welcome to Nerd Sports. Today we're going to talk about how to stop an alien invasion in the 1870s.
We need Will Smith.
No, we need Daniel Craig. I was watching Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, Cowboys and Aliens. Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was a good movie. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Hence,
Okay.
Kevin Feige, not Kevin Feige, John. Oh God, I can't remember his name.
John Lithgow.
No, the guy that directed Iron Man and is Happy Hogan in.
Oh, John Favreau.
John Favreau. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, so
we're finishing up our stuff from What the Hell episode. And I did you read the title of that one?
Yeah.
Halloween Kills, I think this is what we were talking about. Someone messaged me after that. He's like, because I put in, it's like, I don't know what happened with this one. We talked about Halloween Kills at the first stuff, and it just went at ape shit. And he was like, yeah, I saw that. That was weird. That was really weird.
Okay, so let me get into this. All right, so baseball. All right, yeah. Everybody knows, hey, Johnny's a Red Sox fan. That's not a fucking national security risk, type secret. Okay.
I think it might be.
Well, guess what? I probably just lost my clearance. Anyway, so yeah, Red Sox had a good run. Yeah, they lost to the Astros. Yeah, they lost to the Astros in 6 games. You know what? The offense, I mean, they fell asleep. They, scored like 1 run over the last 23 innings of the entire series. They got shut out in game 6. Yeah. Like, really? Okay, so their pitching made an adjustment. I'm not going to say that Houston was cheating. That's not up to me. There are people who get paid a hell of a lot more money than I do to figure that kind of stuff out. And if they did, and then they can prove it, then hey, good on them. But until such time, unlike the majority of the legal system in our country, for at least now, they're innocent until proven guilty. So, both teams came to play, and it was a good 6-game series. So the Astros have been kind of handing it to the Red Sox all year long anyway. And at the beginning of the season, whenever pitchers and catchers started reporting for spring training, and all these pundits and all these experts started coming together, and they were looking at how the Red Sox were supposed to finish, and they were projecting them anywhere from like 81 to 82. I think some people had them as high as 85 wins. I think there was even a couple of articles out there that had them projected to finish below 500 for the year. Point is, they weren't even supposed to be anywhere near the playoffs. They were supposed to maybe finish 4th in the division behind Tampa Bay, New York, and Toronto. So if a 92-win season, that's a successful season right off the bat. 92 wins, okay. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that they went on this really deep playoff run where they not only knocked off the Yankees, but they beat the number 1 seed, defending American League champion Tampa Bay Rays in the divisional series, and then got within 2 wins of going to the World Series, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as I like to pull your cord to where you act like you're about to murky me, but
right.
But in all fairness, looking at the data and everything like that, and yes, I did look at the data. They if you looked at what everybody's prospect of what they were going to do that year or this year, they shouldn't even have gone to the even come to the races.
Yeah, no, and then being a Red Sox fan is it's a stressful occupation. I mean, we didn't have this juggernaut of a team like we did in 2018, where they finished basically wire to wire in first place. They had the best record. No, they had the second best record in baseball behind the Dodgers, because the Dodgers hosted the World Series. But they had the best record in the American League at 108 wins. I mean, I think they finished the season like 113 wins total if you count the playoffs. Well, no, 8. Anyways, whatever. They had a really great team in 2018, and they were the heavy favorites. I mean, absolute heavy favorites. They had to beat New York in the divisional round that year. They also had to play Houston in the ALCS that in 2018 and beat them. So it's not like they had the easiest route to the playoffs. So, but for the 2021 edition of the Boston Red Sox, you know, I can hang my head on this season and say I'm absolutely proud of this squad. They gave us plenty to complain about over the course of the season. Sure, absolutely they did. But at the end of the day, you know, again, 92 wins. They beat the Yankees and the Rays in the playoffs, and then came within 2 wins of going to the World Series.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll take that all day long. So, you know, congratulations to the Houston Astros, you know, and I don't say that begrudgingly. I mean, they put on it. I mean, their offense really woke up at the right time. And their pitching made the right adjustments and started pitching our hitters a lot differently. They started pitching them on the inside and jamming them a lot. And our guys, just for whatever reason, couldn't make the adjustments. So, you know, hey, good job, Houston. Now, that being said, on the National League side of the equation, I absolutely wanted the Atlanta Braves to beat the Dodgers. Totally did. And the Braves pulled it off. They beat the defending world champions. Dodgers are going home. They're going to be like everybody else. They're going to watch the World Series from the fucking couch. The Braves going back to the World Series for the first time in like 22 years. Something like that. I mean, it's been a long ass time. You know, I mean, just Atlanta has a good core of people, and they're going to be there for a long time. You've got the youth, the Ronald Acuna Juniors. You've got the Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman, he's kind of like the senior statesman of the team. But I say that, and the guy's still really young. But he's getting to play in his first World Series. He came up with the Braves. He's been a Brave his entire major league career. He's getting to go to the World Series with them. I know that he was the subject of some trade talk earlier this season during the just before the trade deadline hit, but he managed to not get himself traded, stayed with the team, and they navigated their way through the playoffs. And I'm absolutely going to pull for Atlanta in the World Series, and it's not because I don't like the Astros. Don't get me wrong. I have a healthy dislike of the Astros, but I really want to see, for if anything else, I'm rooting for the Braves because of our friend Zach Medford. I mean,
I just want to see the tomahawk chop. That's all I want to fucking see.
You know, and it was funny because you had some people on these message boards on like Baseball Talk, the Baseball Talk page on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, that thing is so offensive. I want the Dodgers to win, so I don't have to listen to that through the whole World Series." And people were like, "Go fuck yourself." You know, and I'm like, seriously,
get woke, fuck yourself, Chauncey.
I mean, it's one of those. Being woke fucks a lot of shit up. I mean, look at Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, of course, you know, she said that her overdose did cause brain damage. So I'm just kind of like, maybe that's a little bit of it. I don't know. But That's what I'm
But
going with.
it goes against people that have, actual brain damage and everything like that from legitimate reasons.
Okay. I'm not saying that all brain damaged people are being woke here or are woke. Whatever. I'm just saying that being woke, I even hate using that term because it just sounds so illiterally ignorant. It's like, ugh.
In my
I'm
opinion,
woke. What?
what it is people go through daily lives and everything without being hateful for something, and they have a switch, and something just switches it, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna speak my thoughts. They go out, they speak their thoughts. There's other people that speak their thoughts with them, and it starts a cult mentality and everything. And pretty soon, there's one guy that ends up just
They all get
banging
short
everybody.
haircuts. They all wear flannel.
They all
And they wear Spanx that are like way
the
too
leader
small for them.
basically bangs everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only reason why you make your own cult, is so you can bang as many people as you possibly can.
Right.
In front of their husbands.
Right. But getting back to the subject here.
It's a power play.
Do what?
I said it's a power play. Just like when it's like when you go to the urinal and you just drop your pants all the way to the ground and you start using the restroom. It's called a power play. Hey, don't look at me like that. I'm not the one that said that, actually. You know who the person that said that was? Evan Hafer.
I was going to say enlighten the rest of the class.
It was Evan Hafer that said it. Was like, that's a power play. That's what you got to do. I was like,
what? Okay, so fine. On December 4th, whenever we go to that opening in Plano, if he goes into the restroom, I'm going to follow him in there just to do the power play. I'm going to be like, drop. And he's going to be like, bro, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's a power play. I thought that if at the very least you'd be the one to recognize it. Quit staring at my ass, Ivan. Anyways, getting back to us. And I think that it's just more than slightly poetic here that Major League Baseball took the All-Star game away from Atlanta because of the voter protection laws, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't care what math you use, voter protection laws are not racist. In fact, if you claim that they're racist, that makes you the bigger bigot because you're insinuating that the people that you're claiming to protect are too ignorant to go out and get an ID card when they've already got one to drive cars.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I try to have this argument with people, and with the people that try to do that argument, and they're like, well, it's this, it's this. It's just like, so you're a racist. Just say you're a racist. Just go ahead and just say you're a racist, because apparently I believe that they can do these things. I don't have to be told that they can't, because I know it's not real. And
Right.
He's like, no, it's this. I was like, are you saying they can't do that themselves? So you're being racist. And he's like, I'm not being racist. It's like, yeah, you are. You're saying these people are below you to the point where they can't understand how to get an ID or fill out a form to vote. We'll just have to agree to
funny
disagree.
when that logic blows up in their face. Anyways, Getting back to our point. So they removed the All-Star game from Atlanta as a kind of like a political statement, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Major League Baseball, are you a sporting entity, or are you an entity that governs a sport, or are you a political party? Can't have both, pick one or the other. So they decided to move the game to Colorado. Okay, well, the game turned out okay. All right, whatever. But it's almost like the Braves stood up and said, you know what? Hold my beer. And they went out and they went on a mission, and they put together a season that wasn't by a lot of standards. I mean, it was a winning season. They had an 88 win season, but they got hot and went on this huge run during the postseason. I mean, exactly when they needed to do it. And the games that they dropped, I mean, I think maybe one of them was a blowout, but the rest of them were really close. So, but they brought they brought the center of the baseball world back to Atlanta. Now, granted, tomorrow night is game one, and it's going to be in Houston because Houston had the better record, so Houston gets to host it. They're going to be considered the home team. So games 1 and 2 are going to be in Houston, and then games 3, 4, and 5 will be in Atlanta, and then 6, 7, if necessary, come back to Houston. But
well, the thing I like about it is Atlanta is actually getting what they were supposed to get with the All-Star games 3 times.
Right, and that's the point that I was making, is the fact that, you know, all of these businesses that lost so many millions of dollars because the All-Star game disappeared, they're going to get that back threefold now, because you're looking at a potential 3 games that the baseball world is going to be focused on your city, your team, you know. So whereas baseball decided to punish a city, that team took that city, that area, that state, for all intents and purposes, on their back and said, we're going in. They went in, they went to battle. I mean, they went to war with everybody. And they put together a pennant winning season. They won the National League pennant, and they did it against a very good Dodgers team. Now, granted, the Dodgers came in as a wild card, but they still had a better record than the Braves did. The Braves just had a higher seed than they did, just based on the virtue of them winning their division, whereas the Dodgers didn't. So I think that this is going to be a really great series. You know, I want to try to shy away from picking a winner in a certain amount of games, because when I did that for Boston, they ended up shit in the bed. But I do like to I do want to pick Atlanta to win this series. I think that they're very capable of doing it, just because of the style of baseball that they play. Because the American League's all set up for power, but the National League's got its fair share of power hitters, but their pitching is on point. I'm absolutely on point. So when the Braves come to Houston and they play in the American League Park, pitchers aren't going to get to hit. They're going to get the luxury of the designated hitter. So you're going to see some good, some back and forths. Now, what I'm going to be interested to see is the 74-year-old Dusty Baker, who is the manager for the Astros. He's still looking for his first World Series ring. You know, so I would like to see him finally get a ring, but I think that his career would be complete without it. Yeah. Because there was a lot of really great players that graced a baseball diamond at the major league level and never won a World Series championship. I mean, just to name a few, we're talking about people like Johnny Pesky. We're talking about Carl Yastrzemski, Ted Williams. Yeah, I know I'm naming off a lot of Red Sox players, but Ken Griffey Jr., for, you know, to say for one, Edgar Martinez. You know, it's just, there's so many players that never won that never even haven't even been to a World Series. Now, Tony Gwynn, one of the arguably, I cannot say that word tonight, arguably, whatever. It's safe to say that he is one of the best, if not the best hitter to ever play the game. Tony Gwynn played his entire career for the San Diego Padres. He played in one World Series, and it was against the Yankees. He got to go to a World Series, but he never won. He unfortunately, when the Padres went to the World Series, they were playing against one of those really great 90s team, 90s Yankees teams. But I'd like to see Dusty Baker get his first World Series ring. I just don't want it to be this year. You know, so I look for Atlanta to kind of put an exclamation point on this season by bringing home the World Series title. and just to kind of give people in Atlanta something to freaking cheer about. I mean, good Lord, that city and sports have not meshed well in championships for a while now. You know, most notably the Atlanta Falcons when they played Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. The Patriots were trailing 28-3 at the half, and then it came back and ended up losing that game to the Patriots. You're talking about one of the all-time greatest choke jobs in postseason history. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. The Atlanta Hawks. That's all I got to say is the Atlanta Hawks. The Braves, this is their 10th World Series appearance for the Braves in franchise history. They've got one World Series title to show for it. I'd like to see them get number 2 this year, and I really think that they're capable of getting it done. Scouting is going to be fast and furious on both sides of the ball. Look for offensive explosiveness from both Houston and Atlanta coming out of the series. But I think pitching is going to take pitching is going to make its way to the forefront, and it's going to come down to who makes the least number of mistakes on the mound. And I think Atlanta is going to be able to pull that off, because if the Dodgers would have managed to have gotten around Atlanta and made it to the World Series, the Dodgers would have taken a second consecutive World Series title. They really would have. And I would have found myself in a position to have begrudgingly been rooting for the Astros just because I can't stand the Dodgers. But
why is that?
The Dodgers are kind of like the West Coast version of the Yankees, man. They go out and they spend over $200 million on a fucking payroll. They sit there and put all of this talent together.
I think you said this last week too.
Yeah, I did.
Totally forgot.
Yeah, they and it's not, and don't get me wrong, the Dodgers have got great history. I mean, you've got Fernando Valenzuela, an amazing pitcher, right? Yeah, Oral Hershiser. You got, I don't even want to put Clayton Kershaw on that in that group, but I mean, you've got a lot of Dodger greats that have worn that uniform, to include.
Okay,
Jackie
let me ask you something. Okay, do you still consider the Dodger name as to going with, even if because Dodgers were in New York first, right?
Yeah, they were in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. It was Brooklyn Dodgers. That's right. And they went from there to LA. Do you still consider Babe Ruth still part of that? I mean, the legacy is
Babe
part
Ruth
of the.
Never played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was a Red Sox. Then he went to the Yankees. When he was done with the Yankees, he went and played for the Boston Braves for one season until he ultimately retired from baseball.
Oh, I thought he played for the Dodgers.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Why do I think I don't know why, but I keep on. I know he played for the Yankees, but I forgot. I thought he played for the Dodgers.
No. Jackie Robinson played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And he played for the Dodgers his entire career, even when they made their move out to LA.
Now, do you still consider a lot of the heavy hitters from when they were in Brooklyn part of the Dodgers family still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, because a lot of them stayed on the team when they made that move.
Okay.
So, it's. And my disdain for New York sports is not synonymous with the Dodgers. I mean, I respect the history of the team, just like I respect the history of the Yankees. Okay. And I say that in all transparency as a Red Sox fan. I respect what the Yankees have been able to accomplish. Okay. You'll just never catch anything with pinstripes or interlocking NYs in my house, nor on my body. There's just not enough holy water in the world to cure that kind of a burn. But
I once wanted to see if it was like kryptonite too. As soon as I throw it out to you and everything like that, and it just burns.
It'll be like Average Joe's gym, and I will dodge the fuck out of that wrench. I won't even touch it. No, I won't even touch it. A friend of mine who happens to be a Yankees fan, he slid his Yankees hat over at me, and I took a pin off of his desk and I shoved it back over to him. Um, it was funny because when I was married to my second wife, her mom and her stepdad went to New York. That's where he came back from, right? So he took her on vacation to New York to kind of show her where he was, from, and took her to New Jersey and all this other. Like anybody actually goes to fucking New Jersey on vacation. But anyways, I digress.
I would go to Red. Oh fuck, where's it at? Wherever the Jane Swallow secret stash is. That's the only reason why I would go to Jersey.
Anyway, so they went to a game at Yankee Stadium. And ticket stub had Ichiro Suzuki on it. And it was like first 1,000 people or whatever got a free fucking Yankees hat when they walked through the gate, right? So they brought this ticket stub and this hat back from my now 12-year-old, right? Brought it back for Colin. So my ex-wife, she pulls up into the driveway, brings the boys in, and she's like, "Well, you get that stuff out on my, on the passenger seat and bring it in the house for me." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, sure." So I go out there, open up the door, and there's this fucking Yankees hat sitting. I'm like, "Fuck this." I picked up the whole stack of papers and I flipped the hat out into the yard. I walked in the house. And she's like, "Where's the hat?" I said, "It's in the yard." "Why?" I said, "Because that's where I threw it." "Why?" "Because that shit ain't coming in my house. It's not fucking happening. I am not bringing that into the house." "Well, my mom got it for Colin." I'm like, "I don't give a damn. It's not coming in this house." And she kind of went back and forth with me a little bit, begged and pleaded. I was like, "All right, fine. But if you bring it in, if it comes in, you bring it in, and there's a box in the back of his closet. It goes in that box. I don't want to fucking see it. Period." No, zip, zilch, nada, not happening. I don't care if Derek Jeter himself gave me an autographed jersey of his. I'd be like, "Thanks, Jeter, but can you put that shit in a bag? Because I'm not fucking touching it." I don't care. I'm true to my allegiances. I will not. If in fact, I told my girlfriend, I said, if we ever go to visit New York City, yeah, I'd like to attend a game at Yankee Stadium just so I can knock that stadium off the list. But my photo op, you know how like people go to New Zealand and they take the Lord of the Rings tour, right? And they go to the top of Mount Doom and you get a picture of yourself pissing off the top of Mount Doom.
Yeah.
I want to get a picture of myself urinating on the side of Yankee Stadium with my Red Sox gear.
And then make it a sticker so you can put it back on the back end of your car.
Oh, no. I'm not going to do that. It will be the most epic of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Angry Me production posts on Facebook. That would most certainly happen. I mean,
you can get it made into a sticker so you can put it on your car, right?
I know, man.
It would be like a Calvin and Hobbes thing, but you would be the prime Calvin.
I would be Calvin. Yeah, I get it.
Yes,
I'd be Calvin. But
I would pay for it.
Fine. Just because you said you'd pay for it, I'll do it. But again, I respect the history of work. I respect the lineage that the Yankees have put on the field. I just don't like the team. I never have, never will. There's a lot of ball players that would rather retire than play for the New York Yankees, most notably King Griffey Jr. And I love this story about him. When his dad was still playing, he was traded from the Reds to the Yankees. And, he was kind of excited about it. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be the Yankees." So his dad took him into the clubhouse one day before a game. And he's walking through the clubhouse and he started noting how all of these other players were reacting towards his dad and treating his dad. And he had decided, he had decided right then that if he ever played professional baseball, that he would never ever play for the Yankees. And pretty soon, he started playing professional baseball, as everybody knows. And it came time for him to become a free agent when he was in Seattle. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Yankees came at him with like a multi-year deal, paying him like $158 million. I mean, it was going to be one of the biggest contracts in baseball history at the time. And he turned it down. Absolutely turned it down, because he went back and he cited that incident at Yankee Stadium in the locker room. And he said, I promised myself that if I ever played professional baseball, I would never play for the New York Yankees. And I'm going to stay true to my word. And he did. And here comes Cincinnati, the team that his dad played for. Comes along, and they're a smaller market team, so they can't afford to pay him as much, and he didn't really care. So he played there for like 5-6 years for like $30-something million, just because he wanted to be closer to home. So he went and played for, he went and played Cincinnati for a while. And then Cincinnati traded him to the Chicago White Sox for a little bit, and then after that little stint was over, he re-signed to come back home to Seattle, finished out his career there. And when he retired, and he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, he was inducted as a member of the Seattle Mariners. He was the first person for the Mariners to have his jersey retired by the Mariners. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. Did you hear the sneeze?
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool.
You muted it, but I saw this buildup. Like, I mean, your face kind of went like that, And
yeah, I know.
You had that. It was a cross between. It looked like Sloth about to have an orgasm. That's what your face did.
I'll take that.
Oh, you guys, like, oh, baby Ruth. God, that's so disturbing.
I wonder if there's a porno like that, so we can reference that shit now.
Oh, baby Ruth. Yeah.
Ruth. Oh dear God! Oh dear God! That's so hilarious.
Oh man! But yeah,
I was talking about
Game one tomorrow night, 7:00 Central Time, 8 Eastern on Fox. The only thing I don't like about the World Series being on Fox is the fact that I've got to listen to Joe Buck dribble on for fucking hours at a time. Now, he does have John Smoltz in the booth with him and kind of humbles Joe Buck a little bit, but it's still Joe Buck, still Joe Buck. And I'm like, I hate that guy. I don't hate him. I'd shake his hand, get my picture taken with him. I just don't like listening to the guy call a damn ball game. I just really don't. I mean, if he were to become like the the color analyst, that's fine. Give us somebody else to do the play-by-play. But, Joe Buck can call football. Fine. Great. Awesome. Let him do that. But as far as the World Series is concerned, I mean, unfortunately, he's there. So he's going to be there for a long time unless he does something that the cancel culture doesn't like has a fucked up tweet from like 20 years ago or something. I know Twitter didn't exist 20 years ago, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So
it didn't, did it?
No, it didn't. Hell, Facebook's not even 20 years old.
No, it's not. All that stuff happened like 2006, 2007.
Something like that, yeah.
No. It happened in 2008 to 9.
Yeah, well, see, there you go.
MySpace, on the other hand, happened about that time frame.
Yeah. God love MySpace and Tom. Tom was a good friend.
I know.
Right? Everybody's like, oh, you sold out. Oh, yeah, he sold out for like $1 billion, and he spends the rest of his time traveling and doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, they finally knocked down MySpace.
Yeah, because it was open for like professional accounts.
Yeah.
So tonight, right now, the Seahawks are with
Yeah, they're up last time I checked.
Yeah, Seahawks are up 7-0 right now. 9:43 left in the second quarter. But
Oh, and I was looking at your how many people played this weekend. Since was it a bye weekend? It was a bye weekend, wasn't it?
yeah, the Cowboys had a bye week this week.
Yeah. Well, going off the statistics, you were 3 of 12.
No,
You lost 3.
I lost 3.
9 of 12. If you want to look at that, is
that
that how?
9-3?
Huh?
You mean I'm 9-3?
9-3. I guess
9-3 for the week so far.
Because there were 12 game. Yeah, there was 12 games.
Yeah, there was 12 games. So the Browns did in fact beat the Broncos by a field goal, but still, I totally shit the bed on Carolina and New York. Carolina went in there and couldn't even couldn't break the plane of the end zone. It was 25-3 New York.
Yeah.
The Patriots got their first home win of the season and their 12th straight against the Jets, beating New York 54-13.
Yeah, but it's the Jets.
It is the Jets. I called this game. Tennessee and Kansas City. 27-3 Tennessee. I called that game. I said Tennessee was going to beat the Chiefs, and they did. I'm happy about that one. Huh?
It's weird for me because I know, okay, this is how I remember this happening. This is the only thing I remember happening. I remember Houston Oilers going to Tennessee. Then they changed the name to Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And then Houston went back and said, we still want a team. So they went in the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny. Which is really funny is the only way to get for a long time, the only way to get any of the Houston Texans gear is to go to Houston. But all around
my girlfriend, whenever we went to the Dallas game, they came up here to get me before we went down to Dallas. And they were like, we need to find some Cowboy stuff because they can't find Cowboy stuff down there. It's all Texans. Oddly enough, the name Texans was the original name of the Cowboys before the Cowboys became the Cowboys.
Was it really?
Yeah. They were the Dallas Texans.
Weird.
But the team formerly known as the Redskins lost to the Green Bay Packers, like I said. The Falcons squeaked out a 2-point win versus the Miami Dolphins. I called that game too. Now, Cincinnati and
there's
Baltimore,
a lot of shutdown games this weekend.
Yeah. Now, Cincinnati and Baltimore. Now, I told you that I was picking Baltimore just because of the record, right? And I said I really want to pick Baltimore. Cincinnati. I want to see Cincinnati win that game. So I was willing to take that L. The Bengals beat the Ravens at home in Baltimore, 41-17.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I mean, that is a statement game. Not only did they beat the Ravens, but they took first place in the division over the Ravens. They've got the same record now at 5-2. But now Cincinnati's got the tiebreaker because head-to-head, they've already beaten them once. So there's that. The Lions, well, them poor Lions. I'm telling you, the highlight with this game was Matthew Stafford was the Detroit quarterback for the longest time. He went to LA, and the quarterback for the Lions used to be the Jeff Goff. Used to be the quarterback for the Rams. He went to the Super Bowl with the Rams. Now, granted, they lost, but he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. Right? Lost that Super Bowl, and then for whatever reason, the relationship between him and the head coach just kind of broke down. So LA and Detroit basically traded quarterbacks, and 28-19 Rams on that one. I did pick the Raiders over the Eagles, and the Raiders are now 5-2 for the first time since 2016 when they finished 12-4. They beat the Eagles 33-22. And then the Houston's lost big to the Cardinals 31-5. Arizona's 7-0 for the second time in team history, dating all the way back to 1974. The Buccaneers beat the crap out of the Chicago Bears 38-3. Tom Brady, first player in NFL history with 600 touchdown passes.
Really? First one?
First one. Now, with his 600 touchdown ball, the guy that caught that reception gave it to a fan in the stands. A representative from the team went to that guy and negotiated a deal to get that ball back. They said, name anything you want. We'll get it for you. We just need that ball. And he's like, just give me a signed Tom Brady jersey, right? Mm-hmm. Like a game worn Tom Brady jersey. And they were like, yeah, bet we got that for you. The next day, this dude's getting raked over the coals by social media because they're saying he lost out potentially on as much as $500,000 because that's what that ball is now appraised at. Okay. Shit. Now, there's a flip side to this that nobody's really talking about. As a fan, if you catch one of these historic balls or, some piece of sporting history that's significant, right? Like a 600 touchdown pass or Mark McGwire's fucking 63rd home run ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Or the one from Mr. October.
Yeah, right. Yeah. See, these pieces of sporting history memorabilia, they surface on these auction route circuits and they go for millions of dollars. Only problem with that is the IRS. I'll get into that in just a second because I'm going to preface it with this. There's a guy in New York. He saved all year to come to a game. And the one game that he came to was when Derek Jeter got his 3,000th hit. And it would just happen to be a home run, right? Mm-hmm. This guy caught it. And it's not like this guy was asking for tens of thousands of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. He asked for some autographed memorabilia and some season tickets, right? So basically what ended up happening is that Derek Jeter was somebody from the team gave Derek Jeter a fucking Sharpie and said, hey, sign these baseball cards, this jersey, this bat, this ball. And, we're going to give this memorabilia to this guy. We're going to give him some season tickets. Here's your 3,000th ball, right? The IRS went after this guy because they considered everything that he had received that was autographed as income.
What the fuck?
It was valued. The merchandise that was autographed along with the season tickets that was given to this guy, market value, probably around closer to $2,500 to $3,000 at the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the memorabilia. That wasn't counting the season tickets. My mistake. The IRS went and looked at it, said, hey, look, okay, so he received this, and this is what this stuff is appraised at. He didn't pay taxes on this. They sent him a bill.
I would have sued the fuck out of him.
He didn't claim it. He didn't claim it as income, so
you can't. Okay.
I know where you're going with it, but to make my argument, to make my point about the guy with the 600 touchdown pass ball from Tom Brady. Yeah, he could have asked the moon and gotten potentially $500,000. He could have even taken that ball and had it certified and had it auctioned off and gotten maybe a couple million for it.
Yeah.
But he would have had to pay taxes on that couple of million. Whatever it was. You're probably looking at 47% right off the top going to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? And now you're looking at missing out on something a little bit more intangible. Okay. For me, and you can sit there and try to spin it all you want, or the people listening can sit there and try to spin it all you want. If you're put in that position, yeah, I mean, your first reaction is to be like, yeah, how much money can I get for this? But then you get those people that, I mean, this guy, where his seats were, odds are he's probably a season ticket holder anyway, right? Because he was in the end zone, first row, bam, right there. So he probably didn't care about getting his season tickets renewed. Who cares, right? I mean, he's got enough money to where he doesn't have to worry about it. He buy his own damn tickets, right? All he wanted was just an autographed jersey from the GOAT. Maybe a game-worn jersey autographed by Tom Brady himself.
See,
pretty simple request.
Here's the even better way to do it is you have Tom Brady sign it, and if they say you can blah blah, name your price and we'll pay for it. I was like, how about this? You can rent it from me.
It's still taxable income.
It might be taxable income, but if you set the renting for like, I mean, now I don't know if that bill is passed for the $600, which it hasn't yet.
Well,
but you can do it like $9,000 and they can't. It's taxable income, but technically you don't have to claim it if you don't want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of loopholes in the tax law.
You could say, or you could do this: is you can say, "Hey, I'm gonna let you have this on loan. I want something that's going to be part of my family." And you can have it as a donation of that. So you can get like a little plaque.
You can donate the ball, but by donating it, you are relinquishing ownership of it. Okay. I get where you're going with it, but as a fan, this guy is, I mean, if you're going to spend money to buy season tickets for a team, you're going to be a fan of that team, and it's going to be something that you're invested in. Like, for example, let's just say that, like, I go to a game at Fenway Park, okay, and let's just say that, I don't know, I'm just pulling names out of thin air here. Just say that JD Martinez goes in there and he hits his 300th home run at Fenway Park. I happen to be the one guy that catches it. He wants that ball back, so they're going to send an attendant to come up there and talk to me, and they're going to be like, "Hey, Mr. Martinez would like that ball. What are you willing to, are you willing to give it to us, or is there something that you want in exchange for it?" Well, okay, well, I'll keep my demands really simple. Okay, I want to go into the clubhouse and I want to meet him after the game, and I want to sit down and just kind of talk with him for a little bit, just to kind of chill out. And yeah, I would like an autographed jersey, because at the end of the day, as a fan, you want to be able to make it's anybody and every, I mean, it's every sports fan's dream to make an impact on the game that they love the most, right? And whether it's as a player or whatever, right? You want to have something that's impactful. So, and yeah, you're going to catch a lot of hate from people out there on the interweb, but you know what? Screw those guys. I mean, they didn't spend the money to buy the seat that ball just happened to land at. You were in the right place at the right time.
There's a lot of people that do if that was me, if I did this, I'm like, you know what? I was like, when I met
we
Stan
can all
Lee,
sit back and ponder the question, what if? Yes, I get that.
Well,
but
what happened with me
with the guy
like
with this Brady jersey?
Well, what happened with me is when I went to go meet Stan Lee, I was like, Dad, the only thing that you need to do is give him an Army challenge coin, and you'll make his day. That was the only thing I wanted. I wanted to make his day. And as soon as he gave him the Army coin and everything like that, he didn't notice it at first. And then when he noticed what it was, he's like, "Oh, thank you very much. This is so great. Thank you for this. Thank you for your service, blah, blah, blah." And He's like, no, that's for you. Thank you for your service because you're a World War II vet, and we'd like to honor you of that. Yes, you did great things in comic books and everything like that, but thank you for your service. And
Yeah.
he literally had a tear.
Yeah. See, it's the little things like that. Exactly that. You want to make that impact. So I don't have to break it down for you because you understand, albeit it's a different dynamic, but still you understand the principle of what I was trying to get across here. So this guy asking for an autographed Brady jersey for that 600 touchdown ball, dude. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Could he have made more money off of it? Yeah, absolutely. He could have. But I think at the time, the guy was probably just thinking, you know what? I'm going to get a chance to actually meet Tom Brady and I'm going to get an autographed jersey out of it. And he gets something that's special to him back. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do that. Because I tell you what, at the end of the day, at the end of his career, of all the trophies and all the accolades that Tom Brady is going to eventually receive, rack up, and accumulate, he's going to look back at those little moments that meant the most to him over the course of his career. And he's going to look back, and it's very possible that he's going to look back at the touchdown number 600. And he's going to see the ball sitting in a trophy case, or seeing a ball, in a display case or something, or maybe go to Canton one day where the Football Hall of Fame is, and he's going to see that ball enshrined permanently.
Yeah.
And he's going to remember that fan. He's going to remember that guy. That guy at that particular juncture in history decided to make a more impactful, gesture than asking for something is to be honest with you, as fleeting as money. I mean, you can sit there and joke all you want, like, oh man, I was going to ask the mint for this. Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, who are you hurting? I mean, you're doing more than just making yourself look like a greedy ass. You're hurting the sport.
Yeah. Well, there's that thing from Conan the Barbarian. I mean, if you actually think about it, it pertained to his daughter. He's like, was it sometimes gold loses its luster, diamonds loses its sparkle. The only thing is the love of your child.
There you go.
And that just pertains to anything that you actually care about in life.
Yeah, exactly. The Saints are on the board 3-7 right now, 3:30 or 3:15 left in the half. But there's another Tom Brady story from this weekend. There was a 12-year-old kid in the stands. He held up a sign that said, "Tom Brady helped me beat cancer."
Oh, damn.
And Tom Brady saw the sign. Kid had a Brady jersey on. So after the game, Tom Brady's running into the locker room. He goes up to the stands, up to the railing where that kid is sitting, and gives him the hat off of his head. Gives him a Buccaneers ball cap that he was wearing on the sideline and gives it to this kid. This kid breaks down in tears.
That is
gives
just...
daps it out with him, gives him a little fist bump, hands him the hat. Because you know what? Everybody wants to sit there and in the past wanted to say like Tom Brady has no class because, yes, he has been seen after losing a game just walking off the field, not even talking to the other quarterback. But, I think what we're seeing is not only a more spry, agile, more youthful type Tom Brady. We're seeing somebody who knows that they're having to take on this role of the elder statesman for the game. Because a lot of the people that he has played with, a majority of the people that he has played with are now retired. And there are people that came into the league after he did that are already retired. He is coming in. This is his 22nd season in the NFL at a very high level. He has more Super Bowls than anybody, more Super Bowl MVPs than anybody, more rings than anybody. And he's only on his second team. He's the fourth quarterback to beat all 32 teams, or all 30 teams. He's the only quarterback in history now to have 600 touchdown passes. I mean, the guy is operating on so many different levels above the rest of us mere mortals that it's ridiculous. You know, this is Tom Brady's world, and we're getting to watch him play in it. You know, and I mean, he said, was it earlier this week or last week? He said that he doesn't want to play till he's 50, although he thinks that he's physically capable of doing so. That's scary. That's absolutely blood curdling scary.
What is the oldest? What's the oldest quarterback?
The oldest quarterback was, well, I mean, it's him now at 44.
Yeah,
he's 44 years old.
A lot of the players don't go past like 35, 36.
Yeah, if that. I mean, 32, you're probably, I mean, there are some guys that put 20 years in the league, but they usually come in when they're like 19, 20, 21. But those guys are usually like special teams players or they're linemen.
Oh, no, he isn't. It's Adam Matthew Venturini. Venturini. Yeah, he played until he was 48.
Yeah, he was a kicker, right? Adam Venturini. Yeah, he was a kicker for the Patriots. Helped them win the 2000 Super Bowl or the 2001 Super Bowl against the Rams. Last second field goal.
I'm still looking. Yeah, he was a kicker.
Yeah, see, I know that name, Adam Venturini. I knew that name.
Place kicker.
Yeah, he kicked the winning field goal in the 2001 Super Bowl. Patriots versus the Rams.
And he played for 24 seasons with Patriots.
In fact, I think Colts. He ended his career with the Baltimore Colts. I mean, the
Indianapolis Colts. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, Tom Brady knows that. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that he's playing on borrowed time. I'm not saying that at all. Because just when you think that he's on his last legs and he's on his way out, he does something so inconceivably impossible that you just kind of be like, the dude has to be juicing, but he's not juicing. He comes up clean. He found the fountain of youth.
Yeah. Dude, you know? this guy all-time leading scorer at 2,673 points.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's because, I mean, you think about the number of extra points and field goals that guy has kicked.
20. Yeah. God.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, 1 and 3 points. I mean, point here, 3 points there. It adds up, man, over the course of a 20-something year career. But, you know, but with Tom Brady, I mean, Tom Brady being Tom Brady, man. I mean, it's like I said, it's his world. We're lucky to get to be a part of it. The last game that I didn't pick correctly last night, Sunday Night Football, was the Indianapolis Colts and San Francisco 49ers. I picked the 49ers to win that game. I couldn't have been any more wrong because it was raining. It was a shitty weather game. I mean, it was the type of game that football was supposed to be played in, right?
Yeah.
The Colts won 30-18 last night against the 49ers. They came out firing. I mean, out of all the commentators and experts last night during the pregame for Sunday Night Football, all but maybe a couple of people, all but 3 of them picked the 49ers to win, to include America at 74% of the poll, right? Drew Brees, he was the quarterback for the Saints last year. He's now working for NBC for their NFL stuff. He picked the Colts last night, and I'm just kind of like, look at you, crazy old man. You know, I'm thinking I got my shit locked down. No, I couldn't have been more wrong. The Colts came out to play last night. I mean, they punched the 49ers right in the mouth.
Mm.
I mean, absolutely just punched them in the mouth. because it is Carson Wentz, the quarterback for the Colts. He was the Indianapolis Colt, or not Indianapolis. He was the Philadelphia quarterback last year, and he got tired of. I mean, he absolutely got tired of the way that Philadelphia was treating him. So, he just decided to opt out for free agency. He got picked up by the Colts when Phillip Rivers decided he was going to retire at the end of the playoffs last year, and made himself a nice little home in Indianapolis. And now he's trying to get out there and trying to help them win. So hey, good luck to that guy. But there was 6 teams that had a bye week this week: the Pittsburgh Steelers, Buffalo Bills, the LA Chargers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Minnesota Vikings, and Dallas Cowboys. All of them had a bye week this week, which was kind of cool because, I mean, we normally don't have a whole lot of teams. I mean, we usually got like 3 or 4, or 2 or 4 teams. It's always an even number with a bye week. So we had 6 teams on a bye week this week. So there's a lot of people getting rest. Steelers could definitely use it. The Bills are going to be scary, man. They really are. The Chargers, I think the Chargers, their defense is fast. Their offense, it's respectable, but I think the grind of a 16-week season for these guys, it's going to catch up with them. I don't want to give them a whole lot of props right now, just because the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got their one and only win so far this year whenever they went to London for that game versus the Dolphins. So look for them to come back with a little bit of a swagger, thinking, "Oh, hey, we got our first win out of the way." Well, now all you really did was just screw yourself out of the first round pick, because it looks like Detroit's getting that. The Vikings are going to be hosting the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday night next week. So let me go ahead, pull up the Week 8 schedule. Let me get my handy dandy notebook out.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Okay. Helps if I'm a little bit more prepared for the show, All right. So here we go. Nerd Sports Week 8. All right, let's get into this. This is going to be one of the marquee games. It's going to be, it's actually the Thursday night game this week. It's going to be the Green Bay Packers versus the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals are going to actually end up winning that game. I know I may be jinxing them. I know that Aaron Rodgers is playing on a high level right now. He seems to be clicking a little bit better with a lot of his receivers, including Deontay Adams. But I don't know, man. They're playing in Arizona. I'm gonna pick Arizona on that game. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the New York Jets. I'm going to give you a guess as to which way I'm going to lean on that one.
You're going to have the New York Jets win, because New York Jets are the awesomest team in the world. So that's a no, right? No,
yeah. It's a resounding no. And I knew you knew better.
So if I'm going to do a sarcastic thing, I'm going to do it.
Cincinnati's going to win big on that one. The Colts they're feeling a little bit spunky. They went into San Francisco in the rain, but they're hosting the Titans next week. So Tennessee is going to beat the Colts. It's not going to be a blowout game like it was for the Titans against the Chiefs, but look for them to ride that momentum. Derrick Henry is on a roll. This dude even threw a touchdown pass on Sunday. So,
someone threw a touchdown pass.
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you really fucking hard. The LA Rams are going to go into Houston, and they are going to beat the Texans. It's going to be potentially a very bad week for sports in the Houston area.
Well, it was a bad week for news for sports because we only had like a couple of things, and the one thing that
we'll get to that in just a second. We'll get to that. Let me finish my picks.
All right, fine.
Let me finish my picks. I'm predicting a rough week. I'm not going to say bad. I'm just going to say it's going to be a rough week for sports in Houston. The Texans are going to get the dog crap kicked out of them by the Rams, and the Astros are going to go down. Let's see here. Let me look here, because by the time Sunday rolls around, the World Series should tentatively be over with. Come on, Internet. Here we go. Thank you very much. All right. So, all right. Game 6, if necessary, is going to be on November 2nd. That's a Tuesday, right? Next week.
Mm-hmm.
If the series comes back to Houston, I think the Astros are actually going to lose the World Series on November 2nd, Game 6. I'm going to call it Atlanta in 6. I think that's a very doable thing. All right. So, but getting back to my point, it's going to be a rough week in Houston for sports because the Texans are going to get the dog snot kicked out of them. Of course, everybody's expecting that right now. And the Astros, they're going to break the hearts of everybody around in the Houston area. And it's going to be glorious because if you look at the Major League Baseball fan map for the United States right now as it relates to the World Series. Yeah, I know I'm talking to you with a Boston accent. I'm doing that on purpose. The only orange dot representing any kind of Houston fan base is right there in Houston. Everything else is Atlanta blue. So, chop on, right? All right. Anyways, I know that was rough. Sunday, let's see here. Pittsburgh is going to be visiting the Dog Pound in Cleveland to play the Browns. I'm trying to think here. You know what? I'm going to go and get to my gut here. I'm going to say Cleveland's going to take Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh again. Yeah, Pittsburgh's coming off that bye week. But Baker Mayfield may be coming back for that game. He may be ready to play by next week. So you're looking at a healthy Cleveland. You're looking at a rested Pittsburgh. It's going to be a barn burn. It's going to be a shootout. But I think Cleveland's going to take that game by a field goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles are going to be visiting Detroit. And as much as I don't want to see Philadelphia win, you know what? No. Hear me out. I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions to get their first win of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is going to be why. This is what's going to end up happening. The Philadelphia Eagle fan base is going to call for the head of Jalen Hurts to be benched. They do not want him as their quarterback anymore, especially if he loses to the Lions. That's going to happen.
So you're basically wanting a curse on another player.
Well, no, I'm not cursing the guy. But I'm just saying he's going to go out. He's going to have a rough week because Philadelphia is going to come in. They're going to think, okay, we've got this one in the bag. Their defense is going to come out lazy. Their offense is going to be showing up half-ass. And Detroit's going to have a chip on their shoulder. Detroit's going to have the chip on their shoulder because, they would have gone into L.A. I mean, they scored 19 or 20 points against the Rams. And they had a pretty good showing, even though they ended up eventually losing that game. They had themselves a really, really good showing, and they've got some positives to build off of as far as like momentum is going to be concerned. So I think they're going to go into this game versus the Eagles. They're going to be a little bit more hot, better prepared. And I think they're really going to, they're going to come in and they're going to surprise some people. They're going to be like, the Detroit fan base is going to be sitting there in the stands going, no, who mugged our team and took their uniforms? That's what it's going to be. But Philadelphia is going to rake their team over to the coals if they lose to the Lions. So just kind of look for that. That's my upset pick of the week. 49ers versus the Bears. This one's a little rougher. 49ers are going to go to Chicago. The Bears are going to be walking around with a chip on their shoulder because they just got shellacked by the Buccaneers. Their offense never saw the end zone. I look for Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I look for him to have a bounce back game, and I'm taking San Fran over Chicago. The game that celebrates mediocrity. Carolina Panthers are visiting Atlanta. Atlanta managed to pull off a win this week. Albeit it was by a 2-point margin. But and Carolina just got absolutely embarrassed in New York. I'm going to take Atlanta. Atlanta's going to have this huge momentum going. And depending on how well the Braves are doing, the entire city is going to be up in arms there. I mean, they are going to be riding this huge high. And I think if the Falcons were smart, they're going to jump on that wave and they're going to ride it for as long as they can. I mean, when one area's team, when an area team does well, the other ones just kind of pick up the pace a little bit. And it's just because they don't want to get left behind. I mean,
I can see that.
So the next game we're looking at is Miami versus Buffalo. Well, in the fact that Miami's having to go up to Buffalo to play, it's not really going to play a whole lot into the equation other than the fact that you got a bunch of South Florida boys trying to go up there and play in the cold weather. But the Bills defense is going to rip Miami apart. So Buffalo on that one. The Patriots are going to go to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. And I hate to do this to Mac Jones, but the quarterback for New England, but I think the Chargers are going to take that one. It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, it might be like a flip of a coin. That might be
That's the game. That's the game I want to be wrong on. That's the game I want to be wrong on. So, Jacksonville versus Seattle. Seattle's up at the half, but man, that one's rough. That's a tough pick. You know what? I'm taking Seattle on that one. And then the Washington and Denver. I'm going to take Washington on that one. just because. I mean, they went into Green Bay and kind of got smacked around. They held their own for the first half of the game where, I mean, they answered. I mean, Green Bay drove down on the opening drive, scored a touchdown. Washington came right back, marched right back down the field, scored a touchdown of their own. I think they're going to make some adjustments from their game that they just played, and they're going to look at the Broncos defense, and they're going to be like, yeah, we can beat that. So I'm going to pick Washington on that one. Buccaneers versus the Saints. Normally, now if Drew Brees was playing, I would probably be favoring the Saints on this one. But it's Jameis Winston.
Yes.
The dude's a complete train wreck. I'm going to take my boy Tom Brady and the Buccaneers over the Saints on that one. I really, really am. And then we got our Sunday night game with Dallas at Minnesota. I'm going to take Dallas all day on that one. Dak Prescott's playing well. CeeDee Lamb, he's got hands for days. Amari Cooper, he's getting himself in there. He's getting himself known. Tavon Diggs, their corner, the Dallas corner on the defense. He's got 7 or 8 interceptions this year. I mean, there are some teams that don't have that much as a team. And he's got out there as an individual total. So, I mean, the defense is, I mean, they're going to be rested. Everybody's going to be coming back. They're going to be feeling pretty good, feeling pretty loose. They're going to go up into Minnesota, and they're going to absolutely dominate. So look for the Cowboys to kind of go away on that one big. I'm even going to go as far as to say that the Cowboys are going to score at least 35 points in this game. So, all right. Now I told you that normally I have like 2 to 4 teams on a bye. This week we've got 2 teams on a bye, and it's the Ravens and the Raiders. So,
okay.
So our Monday night game is the New York Giants and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Patrick Mahomes got himself a bit of a concussion yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so you saw his head go back after it came into contact with that guy's leg.
Dude, that was brutal. That was an MMA fight.
I mean, he got up and he had those concussion eyes. I mean, you know, like that where the fuck am I kind of shit. I mean, he got his bell rung yesterday.
That doesn't happen too often because they're wearing helmets, though, right?
Well,
it doesn't help.
I mean,
they had to invent a new foam padding stuff for hockey players.
Well, I mean, this is like the 5th or 6th generation of concussion protocol helmets. So I mean, the helmets just keep getting better and better.
Stuff now.
The what now?
Okay, they made a new product like probably around about 5, 6, 7 years ago. Basically, it's this orange stuff. It's orange, and what it is it's pliable, but once pressure is put onto it, it becomes a solid really fast.
Yeah,
they made it mainly for hockey players.
Yeah,
the goalies.
And I've seen those helmets with them in there. It's like the Fast Attack 2 or the Fast 2 or something like that. I forget what they're called, but Patrick Mahomes has got one of the newer helmets, so it depends on what his progression coming back from the concussion protocol is going to be. I mean, because he looked like he absolutely got his world rocked on that play. God, I don't want to pick the Giants on this one. I really want to say that the Chiefs get their ship righted. New York's just kind of flying high. I mean, they managed to beat somebody at home this year.
You know, the Giants are probably going to win this one.
Do you say that now? But I thought that they were going to lose that yesterday. They did. They showed up to play. My pick can go both ways. Honestly, if Patrick Mahomes is not under center, I say the Giants are going to take that one. Just like if he's under center, but he's thrown a ton of interceptions so far this year. He's just not having a good year. I'm not saying that they can't bounce back, but you know what? I'm going to take the Chiefs anyway. I'm going to take the Chiefs on that one. That one's I'm kind of going out on a limb for that one, but yeah, that's my faith pick right there for the week. Yeah, I'll get these posted on our Facebook page short before I go to bed tonight. So,
well, you can do it. You can hold off on it until like Tuesday. Or
well, as long as I get it done, yeah. I mean,
or
as long
Tuesday
as I
or Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday at the latest.
Yeah,
because we've got that Thursday night game. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm getting ready for. 1 week. 1 week I go to Boston, so I'm getting ready. I'm getting excited, dude. Dude. I'm so looking forward to this trip.
You're racked. I mean, we've already had this conversation.
The word stoked doesn't even come close to it. Just
you're going through the 5 stages.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out of here. I know that we got to get through this week first. Thursday night, I'm getting my boys. They don't have school in the morning, so I think my youngest, he's got something going on in the morning, so I'll get him on Friday. But I get my 12-year-old. I get Colin Thursday night throughout until the end of the weekend. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that, spending time with my boys. But yeah, dude, I am 50 shades of excited about going to going on this trip. Just the amount of things that we're going to do, the things we're going to see, the stuff that we've got planned. I'm excited, man. Plus, I mean, it's Boston, dude. And okay, so the show Cheers, right? Hold on a second. Where'd the bait go? Okay, so I'm going to put him on the camera as best I can. I managed to find Sam Mayday Malone baseball cards.
Really?
And yes, that is Ted Danson right there.
That's awesome.
I was like, that is out fucking standing. And then this one, okay, this one looks like a legitimate baseball card. You could almost consider this one an error because Carla is in the background.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, you know what? Yeah, fine, whatever. I mean, they even went as far as to try to Photoshop some they made her photoshopped onto the bench. There's a glove there and you could see shadows. I'm just sitting there going,
they did some work on that.
They did some work on that card, man. I'm just sitting there going I'm like, man, okay, that these are pretty legit, man. I mean, it comes on pretty nice card stock. I mean, it's even got the stats and crap like that on the back of the card.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the amount of work that went into these is kind of cool. I mean, it's for
we need to put one of those cards in the studio.
You know what? I'll get a card holder for the card with Carla on it.
Yeah,
and that'll be the one that I bring to the studio.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got these other ones, man, and it's just I'm looking at them and I'm just like, man, that is so fucking cool, Sam Malone. And then I've got that problem with Pop Funkos.
No, you don't have a problem with the Pop Funkos.
I found the Sam Malone Pop Funko, and it was an auction on eBay. So I put in a bid on it. I put a max bid of $20, dude. I won the bid for $5. Yeah, so I'm just sitting there going, huh, okay. Now let me go in here to my Funko app real quick. And Sam Malone. Oh, well, you know what? I actually made money on it. I only paid $5 for it. It's trending for $9. Sam Mayday Malone, and he's even holding a baseball.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's I'll add that to my collection. Right now, dude, my collection took a little bit of a hit. Good God. I lost like $200 in the last month. My collection was sitting at $3,300. Right now it's at $3,190. So it's the long game. My housekeeping style is best described as there appears to have been a struggle. I dig that, man. I really did. That's fucking hilarious. So, but yeah, I'll get those picks put in by Wednesday. I'll try to get them in there tonight, honestly. But past that, man, it's it's been a slow week for news as far as like the overall sporting world, but
yeah, because we're gonna talk about that baseball closure stuff, and you're like, nah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, okay. So the work stoppage thing, yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and pull up that article real quick because I want to address this. There is a very big problem in the American media where people want to report something without verifying all the facts, just so that way they can say that they were the first ones to report on it.
That doesn't happen. I think
ESPN got real bad about it for years. But this article that you sent me the link to is coming out of CBSSports.com. Major League Baseball appears headed for its first work stoppage since the 94-95 players strike. Work stoppage beginning on December 2nd is almost as certain. The collective bargaining agreement, which I told you that's what it was about. The CBA is negotiated. It's going to be it expires on December 1st. Neither side expects a new CBA to be hammered out before then. So when they're talking about a work stoppage, dude, it's the off season. It is. It's the off season. Just don't expect any kind of like contracts to get signed until this new CBA is in place. So they're looking at, they're looking at trying to get this, hammered out before spring training, obviously. Now, would it put a potential hamper on the winter meetings in Orlando this year? Yeah, probably. It's where a lot of owners get together and they negotiate deals. They trade players. They pick up free agents and stuff like that. A lot of stuff. It's called the hot stove season. So a lot of moving parts are put into places, and they're new homes are found for them during the winter meetings, and it's really high profile stuff too. So will it have an effect on it? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Baseball remembers what the fans did. What kind of a hit the sport took after the last work stoppage. Now, the last work stoppage started, again, 94-95. There was no World Series in 1994. There wasn't. Because the season, when the season ended, playoffs didn't happen because the work stopped, because of the player strike. So, it's, and it's something, man. I don't think the players or the owners are willing to do that to the sport again. Especially with the resurgence of fans coming back to the stadiums finally after a year of being locked out. I think a lot of that is going to be taken into consideration. Now, there are going to be some things that need to be hashed out as far as universal designated hitter for both leagues, pitch count. I mean, not pitch count, pitch clocks. They're gonna visit the idea of a robotic strike zone. Getting rid of the extra runner or the runner in scoring position for extra innings. I absolutely hate that fucking rule. I do. I just think it's obnoxious. It's like they didn't institute that rule during the playoffs, and we had some of the best baseball that we've seen all year.
You think they're gonna do something about the scoring from the 2020 year for
No.
they should have gotten more counting, even though they did only like 7 innings.
I think that they're gonna. If they're smart, they'll get away. They'll do away with the 7-inning doubleheader games. I think they'll do that because they weren't that popular. I mean, they really weren't. The fans hated it. Players didn't like it. Madison Bumgarner, he threw that no-hitter, but it was a 7-run game. It wasn't considered a 9-inning game by Major League Baseball standards, so they didn't count it as a no-hitter. I don't think crap. It's crap. Don't get me wrong; it is absolute crap.
He did a no-hitter.
I don't think that they'll go back. I don't think that they'll go back and rule that and change the ruling on that game. I don't think they'll change it to a no-hitter. He just happened to pick a really bad day to throw in a no-hitter. That's all there is to it. Pure, plain and simple. And it sucks. I hate it for him. I really do. But at the end of the day, the rules were what they were, at the time. Just like Andres Galarraga, I think was his name. Anyways, Detroit Tiger pitcher a couple of years ago. Jim Joyce booted the shit out of the final out call and cost this kid a perfect game. Replay showed that this guy was out all day long, got him by 1.5 feet, and this Jim Joyce just kicked the shit out of this call. And cost this kid a perfect game. They're never going to go back and change that to a perfect game. They won't, just because the rules were what they were at the time. And if they'd had instant replay or the challenges like we do now back then, and Detroit would have challenged that, that call would have gotten overturned. The kid would have had a perfect game. But we didn't have those rules in place. So no. I mean, unfortunately, he's going to have the perfect one hitter. That's all he's ever going to have. Because he doesn't even play ball anymore. I mean, he's out. But there's a lot of things that they need to address for the CBA. I think there needs to be some pushback because, you get a lot of these teams that they know their season's fucked, so they go out and tank it. I think there needs to be some repercussions for that. Go out and play. Go out and try to win a damn ball game. Pure, plain and simple. When you choose to be not non-competitive, and you get these kids that you call up from your farm system, and you start screwing with their major league service time, and you just keep them down in the minors, without calling them up, and you can keep them for as long as you want in those minor league systems until you feel like you want to be competitive again. Then you call them back up. No, don't do that to those kids. Don't, because you're gonna keep a lot of these kids down in the minor leagues past their prime, and by the time they get up to the show, the game's too fast for them, and you've just wasted a prospect and ruined somebody's career.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some blowback on that. I mean, it's going to be a pretty long list of things that need to be addressed, but I think ultimately they'll get that done, because I think that the owners and the Players Association both, they don't want to see what happened to the game at the end of that work stoppage in 94, 95 happen again, especially in today's day and time. The players union, somebody will file a motion, file a lawsuit to have it taken to arbitration, and a federal arbiter will come into play. And, it's unfortunate the federal government would have to get involved, and hopefully it doesn't get that far. I'd like to think that cooler heads are going to prevail here. But no, I don't think that work's going to stop per se as far as like players being on the field. Well, I think that there may be a lockout for that might last a day or two. Yeah, maybe, but ultimately they'll reschedule those winter meetings. For all the general managers and owners to come together, and a lot of the free agents to kind of all converge on one city, and kind of hammer out the going-ons about the game of baseball. So a lot of these teams that have these free agents that they need to re-sign, I think they'll get those contracts pen and paper, pen to ink, hammered out, and the ink will be dry way before December 1st. So
I wonder how many hookers are going to be there,
bro.
No, okay, like for the Super Bowl, they always have that.
Yeah, but the winter meetings, the only way that the winter meetings even remotely get televised is if it's on the Major League Baseball, on the MLB network. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't go on, but it's definitely not going to be to the scale and scope that you would see for things like like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, no. And besides that, you're a free agent and you're out there trying to get yourself a good lucrative contract to go play baseball for whatever team that wants to pay you what you're willing to, what you're wanting to ask for. I doubt very seriously the last thing that you're going to want to do is to put any of that in jeopardy by getting your stupid ass suspended by both Major League Baseball and the players union by going out and getting a hooker. I mean, really. And then on top of that, running the risk of that hooker being underage, then what? You're looking at federal pen time. Your baseball career is effectively over.
Oh, what was that one thing about what was it? It was like Indian one of the coaches or something like that doing freaking incest.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I'm not joking. That was one of the articles. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I know we're running a little bit farther than we usually do.
This one came up. That was 2012. This one's 2018. What is this one? Oh, that's a legal ad. Nothing current. Yeah, nothing current at all.
It wasn't a current. I guess, man, when I put up sports news,
it was a wrestling coach back in 2012.
I'm looking at 2018.
No,
but it's 2016, 2018. Nothing here recently. No, I guess it came onto the feed when it came on my feed when it did like searching for sports news. I don't know why.
If incest is coming up on your feed, dude, I don't even want to know what is on your timeline. I just don't.
I clear it so many times.
Dude, it's bad enough. It's almost like our Twitter got hijacked because I stopped looking at it because of the amount of porn that kept popping up on that Twitter timeline. I'm like, holy dog shit.
Well, we'll probably just have to.
I mean, I may end up taking it down and starting a new one.
You might have to.
I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, you might have to.
Just like, geez. Wow. I couldn't. Yeah, no, I couldn't wrap my head around it. But anyways, yeah, I don't really know a whole lot of anything else that's kind of going on right now. I mean, everybody's gearing up for the World Series tomorrow, Game 1. I know where I'll be. I'll be here watching it. Right now.
Oh, that was another thing that someone told me. This one of my coworkers said was Black Rifle Coffee is now doing football commercials.
You know, if they are, they are. I mean,
Or they're getting their football for the longest time. Honestly, for the longest time, they couldn't put their commercials. They tried it for a couple of years, and because it was Black Rifle Coffee, it was Black Rifle, and they had AR on there. They wouldn't allow them to do it. I guess they're doing it now. I guess they either A, put up a lot of more money than they normally would, or B, they finally came down and said, you know what, maybe we got to stop being douchebags.
Or they looked at it and said, God, you see how popular these guys are? We could really ride that train.
Yeah, but I couldn't find the commercials. That's what's really messed up. Because he was like, man, this one guy's like, oh, you got a lightsaber prosthetic? And it was a prosthetic with his lightsaber. And I was like, no, I haven't seen that commercial. It's like, how are you not able to see that commercial? It's like, I don't know. I haven't seen that commercial. I have everything. I was like, it's not on Matt Bess's thing. It's not on JT's. It's not on Black Rifle Coffee stuff.
Yeah, I'm watching this video here. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties with not mine, my recording equipment. So, the story with the guy with the 600 ball, he like I said, dude, he doesn't want a whole lot. He just wants to play a round of golf. You know, I mean, he got a game ball, he got a gift card. I think that he needs to get that jersey, but more than likely, I mean, if he gets to play a round of golf with Tom Brady, I mean, come on, man, seriously. The guy doesn't really care. I mean, he doesn't want a whole lot. I mean, he even said, I didn't drive there. So if I'd have tried to run away with the ball, he'd had to wait for his Uber to get there anyway. But, which I thought was kind of humbling, but, I give a lot of respect and props to that guy. I mean, he doesn't want anything like lavish for free, you know? I mean, you can tell, I mean, the guy, he works at a hospital. So, I mean, he works for what he has, you know? So, I mean, you can't fault a guy for being blue collar like that. So, I mean, props to that guy. Byron Kennedy. So props to you, Mr. Kennedy. We take our hat off to you. Hold on. We do the Angry Me hat tip. Yeah. So
there we go. We could do that.
We can do the Angry Me hat tip. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for the.
All right. There we go. See, properly employed soundbite.
There you go.
But yeah. So I think we can go ahead and call it a wrap for this week. Probably. Maybe this weekend, try to get a couple of episodes in the can for next week.
Yeah.
Unless you just plan on kind of shooting.
Well, no, I told you the only thing that we're going to do is the Psychos and Sociopaths one. Because I got to do that interview with Kurt. I'm going to do that Wednesday.
That's right.
All set up.
And then Monday night, after I get down to Houston, Monday night or even Tuesday night, Tuesday would be kind of like a early evening kind of a thing. We can do it from my hotel. We can do a Zoom.
Yeah.
I won't have my microphone with me. Actually, you know what? I can do that. I can pack my soundboard and microphone. I just don't know if I want to bring I don't want to bring my boom mic. I can do it with my AirPods.
Yeah. You just do it with AirPods.
I'll just do it with my AirPods.
But yeah, sure you have them charged.
Yeah, trust me, that's happening. Yeah, I'll just do it with my AirPods. But yeah, because I'm bringing the MacBook with me when I go to Boston. But yeah, we can kind of do a short, abbreviated kind of a Zoom episode next week. We can talk about the World Series, which it should be concluded by then, with the Atlanta Braves lifting the Commissioner's Trophy and parading it around downtown Atlanta, hopefully under armed guard, because if you stop too long at a stoplight in Atlanta, your shit's going to roll away on blocks. And I'm not being racist. That's just me giving an entire shitty city shit, because I mean, with the exception of the Braves winning the World Series like 20 something years ago. This city, if they manage to pull it off and beat the Astros in the World Series, this city is going to burn itself to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Sherman's march all the way through the South was bad at the end of the Civil War when he just razed everything to the ground was bad? No. This will be an internal job. This will be the complete inside job. But all seriousness aside, yeah, I mean, picking the Braves to win on that. But yeah, we'll get our programming squared away. We will make sure that our listening audience and our angry faithful. That is what we
do. Angry faithful. Yeah, there you go.
The angry faithful. So look at y'all. Maria is the super fan, and then we've got our angry faithful. We'll make sure that we take care of the angry faithful, and we'll get y'all squared away. So, but until next time, I'm Johnny Skelton,
and I'm David Dickerman.
We will see you guys later.
All right.